I see other photographers posting in groups online all the time asking, how do I book clients? Their work is there. It looks good. But for some reason, they're just not booking. So today, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what can drive business, what can help you get the clients. One of the biggest mistakes I always see with photographers is they're trying to photograph too many different subjects. Now, you'll always hear people say that you need to niche down. You need to focus on one specific thing, be it that you're a portrait photographer or you're a commercial product photographer. I've said in other videos, I don't fully believe this, but I do to a point. If you're somebody that photographs people, that's what you need to be sticking to. Don't have product photography on your website. If you're going to do product photography, then have a separate website for it. Have a website that is dedicated to whatever it is that you're trying to push. If it's portrait photography, wedding photography, your website should be focused on that. Another issue I see a lot is an inconsistent style. I see photographers actually dictate their editing to how the client wants it. And that is not something you want to do. You want to have a very consistent style. You want people to come to your website, look through your portfolio, and see photos that look same in the editing style and in the way that you shoot, be it with off-camera flash or if it's more of a moody, more contrasty, stuff like that. As a photographer, you don't want to be changing your editing style just to fit a client. We want them to hire us because they have looked at our work and they see what it is that we do. They want the style that we shoot in. Now, the reason that this is important is because the style of editing is very much dictated by the way that it is that you shoot. I have a certain way that I edit photos, and it isn't that I went, oh, I want to have this certain look to my photos. But I started incorporating a lot of off-camera flash, and that's just kind of the way that it started to move. So always make sure you've got a consistent style on your website, on your Instagram. Everything should have a nice cohesive flow to it and really be able to give a client an idea of how it is that you shoot photos. So that way they know what to expect. If a client hires you and they're wanting something that's more true to life and you're delivering stuff that's extremely contrasty, off-camera flash, then that client is not getting what they paid for. And that just leads to bad reviews and an even harder time booking clients. You need to be staying active on social media. I don't mean you need to go viral, but you need to be posting consistently. The way that the algorithms work on your sites like Facebook and Instagram is it's looking for that consistency in posting at least a minimum of 3 times a week. I see a lot of photographers who are posting 3 times a day. Now, you don't have to have new content every time. A lot of these photographers will use the same content over and over. Once a week, post that same photo that you've done a few weeks ago. It's going to reach a new crowd. It's going to reach a new audience. It's going to help that algorithm. It's going to push you out there more. It's nothing you have to pay for. You just need to stay consistent in it. And you need to have a plan. Have ones that you're posting photos. Have ones that you're just posting text. Try putting together some reels. If you're not comfortable talking in front of a camera, that's completely fine. Even some behind the scenes video of you shooting a family session or shooting some portraits. You can have one of your friends pretend like they are posing for photos for you, do a behind the scenes video and post that. Try to give the clients an idea of your workflow, what you're like to work with. That's unfortunately one of the parts as a photographer. You are selling yourself. They want to see somebody who's fun. They want to see your face. They want to know what your personality is like, or at least get an idea of it the best they can through a Facebook post or through a reel that you're posting on to Facebook or Instagram or wherever it is. Now, on the flip side of just being active on social media and posting as much as you can, advertising. Advertising is a big thing. I have gotten most of my clients through advertising on Meta. Now, I'm not saying that you need to go blow a ton of money. I have videos posted on how to set up a Meta ad correctly so that it targets the right area. Generally, I'm only spending $5 a day. Now, $5 a day might sound like a lot as it adds up, but usually in the course of a week, I'll get at least a few bookings that come through. And at least once or twice a month, I'm going to book a wedding, depending on the time of year. Generally, wedding photographers book most of their weddings September, October, January, February. That's when I book the majority of my weddings. But to me, spending $5 a day to have an ad running all the time is well worth it. It has paid for itself time and time again. You need to be streamlining your booking process. Now, I'm not saying that you have to have like forms or something that's easy for them to fill out online, but you need to have some type of script. You need to be prepared for when people are messaging you, calling you, texting you, however it is that they are communicating with you. You want to make it an easy process for any potential clients. Most of the time when somebody's reaching out to you, they're asking about price. They might just be shopping around, or they might be prepared to book. What they don't want is you asking 5 different questions and kind of beating around the bush about giving them an actual price. Majority of the time when somebody messages me and says, hey, how much is it for a family session? I'm going to come back right away with some pricing. That might be a little more of a broad pricing, as I tell them. It depends on the time, it depends on the location, things like that, but here's the idea of the pricing. And then I usually follow that up with, what other questions do you have for me? It's important to try to keep that communication moving. The more you can keep them talking, the more likely you are to book that session. Photography really is sales. It is a sales job. And the biggest thing with sales is just to keep people talking. If you can keep them engaged, you are more than likely to make that sale. Another great tip is to network in your community. There are lots of different groups on like Facebook that are aimed towards photographers, towards working photographers. Join those communities, stay active in those communities, start building relationships with people that are in your area. This can end up turning into other work. Maybe a client reaches out to photographer A, they're not able to take it, but they remember seeing your photos, they remember talking to you, and they suggested that client to reach out to you. I've gotten a lot of work before from referrals from other photographer friends of mine, just because they know me, they know my work, and they trust that they could send someone to me. For the most part, the photography community is pretty supportive of each other. I mean, yes, you'll have some people bashing on each other, as you would on the internet anytime, but a lot of what I see is a lot of support and a lot of community. So get involved in any of your local communities. Get involved in any of the local Facebook photography groups. I'm sure you have one in your area, especially if you live anywhere near a major city. Make sure you are asking every client that you work with for a review. When I send out the galleries to my CRM, I include a link on there and ask them to leave me a Google review. The more Google reviews you have, the better you are going to display when somebody searches for a photographer in your area. Not only that, but it builds trust for potential clients. When they see that you have hundreds of 5+ star reviews, that's going to be a big driving factor for one of the reasons that they might reach out to you. So make sure you're getting those reviews. Now, on the part of getting those great reviews, one of your jobs as a photographer is to create a great experience for your clients. It needs to be fun. It needs to be easygoing. I've had many clients tell me how much they love working with me, that it just feels like they're shooting photos with some friends. That I'm able to capture moments that they never thought would be possible with the camera that seem so natural. And that's what you want to do. You want to leave that lasting impression with them so they tell their friends. They leave amazing reviews. They post your stuff online. I have a lot of clients that share my work all the time on Facebook, or they suggest me to other people. I get tagged all the time in different like wedding sites and stuff like that when somebody is searching for a wedding photographer. All because of the experience that I gave my clients when I was working with them. Now here's the reality of it. Majority of photographers give up. They give up within a year. A lot of them stop even trying to market within a couple weeks. They're reaching out onto the groups asking, how do I get clients? When they've only been really attempting it for the last 2 weeks. It takes time. It takes a long time to build a client base. It takes a long time to build a name for yourself. The majority of us professional photographers didn't pick up a camera and start working professionally in 6 months. It took years to get to a point that I'm able to sustain myself. So don't give up. You just have to keep at it. Trust the process. It takes time to build those relationships. It takes time to build social media followings. It takes time to get your name out there and get those clients that trust you enough that they are suggesting you to all their friends. The biggest thing I want anybody to take away from this is consistency. Stay consistent. Have a plan on how you want to market and stay true to it. Keep following it. As long as you keep pushing it, it will pay off. Keep improving your work. Keep improving your portfolio. Be out there shooting for free. Anything you can do to get your name out there, you need to be doing. If you truly want to do this for a living, you have to push it. Now, I hope that will maybe help somebody with marketing, with getting those clients. If you like content like this, hit like, hit subscribe. I try to put these out once or twice a week, depending on my schedule, which fortunately right now, I'm in a little bit of a slow period until the end of the month, so I have been knocking out some videos. Have a good one. Get outside. Get away from your screen. Take some photos.